Okay, we're live on 13 out of 15, maybe 14. What's up, guys? Get that off the page, bring up the chat. Nick, what's up, buddy? I love to see you here in the morning, nice and early. Look at you. You driving around? Working? What's going on? Um, let's put the chat down here. Bitcoin's at 43.8. We've got plenty of things to talk about today, man. So first things first, we'll get right off the bat. Those of you that have your notifications turned on, yeah, you're gonna hear all this stuff right off the bat. So Starlink messaged me. I messaged them the day before, and I was like, "Can you guys tell me when you're gonna ship out my replacement dish?" And they contacted me back in less than 24 hours, and said it should be within the 17th to the 22nd is your shipping window. And then this morning, a day after I messaged them and got a reply back, I got another message from Starlink. Your satellite system has shipped and will be there soon. So I don't know if it was the message I sent them that encouraged them to speed up my delivery or not. But I do know this. My shipment is on its way. It's going to be here soon. I'm going to have Starlink again, which is going to be great, you know. Much better internet. Man, there's a bunch of gnats around here today. I'm thinking maybe I should close the door to the grow again. Try to kill all these little fuck sticks before they get into my covfefe. I don't want any gnats in my covfefe. We're going to cover that covfefe, man. That's what we'll do. Where's my gnat shield at? Hey, Gussie. I lost my little cover that I used for covering my coffee with. So that kind of sucks. I guess I could use a bigger piece. Here, I'll just use this. I've got this thing over here. I think here it is. This will work. Little piece of board there. It's your Christian girl. Yeah, you're not my girlfriend, Gussie. That's funny. Michael Haskey. Hey, man. Never see you here anymore. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Good to see you. So, yeah, we've got plenty of things to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about was the fact that Starlink's coming out. Okay. Next thing is... Hey, Eddie. What's up, buddy? Let's bring up Twitter. That'll help me here. The business is booming. Oh, good, man. That's great. Too wet. Someone said, name a better duo. I'll wait. And shows a picture of the president and the vice president. My answer was literally every other duo that ever existed. Fucking douchebag. Orlando's bragging about his sexual conquests on Twitter again, Gussie. Great leader. Hey, one of the people that I brainwashed let me have sex with her all night last night. Yay. Dancing lessons, Gussie? Anyway, I haven't been on much, had family issues. I'm sorry, Eddie. MRK, home improvements about to be backed up with work. Good, Michael. Sonny and Cher. Eddie. Oh, yeah. Gussie's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, square dancing, right? Y'all square dance, huh? So anyway, yeah. So I sent a really good video to Dr. Guy Mcpherson, and he responded with a thumbs up or an okay, which means he got the video. I may have put the video up on my Twitter feed last night. I'm sure that Oracle is the only one that saw it. He seems to be one of two people that retweeted me. Who's the other retweet? Oh, one retweet and one quote tweet. The quote tweet was, Hippie Chick. Well, thank you, Hippie Chick. Wow. There you go. Hippie Chick quote tweeted me, and so did freaking Oracle. Now, I don't expect any of you guys to give too much of a fucking shit about anything that I'm about to tell you. Mostly based on my low show numbers that you guys don't give a fuck about most of the things that I bring you on here. But I found this very interesting. And in what the conversation that Token Dave and I had yesterday over, which was that, you know, you probably shouldn't be creating more kids because the world's coming to an end and we're going extinct. This just piles on to that notion horribly accurately. Just goes to prove that I know what I'm talking about. And if you want to risk human lives on trying to prove me wrong, well, that's on you. I don't recommend you guys give any more birth to any more children. All right? This is going to be the reason why. Watch this. This was brought to you by PBS and Nova. So you could sit there all you want and cry and whine and claim that I don't know what I'm talking about, that I'm just, you know, some crazy guy screaming about the end of the world. You could say that all you want. Oh, you're bringing Orlando in? Good. Thank you, Gussie. And 4 more people? Great. Thank you so much. Hey, Dave. Yeah, talking about you here, buddy. So, Token Dave, you're going to want to watch this video, bro. I don't think you believed what I was telling you yesterday. So, just weirdly enough, this video fucking popped up on my recommended videos. And I'm like, sinkhole, schminkhole, who fucking cares about sinkholes, right? Dave, you of all people need to watch this. Everyone needs to watch this.
What happens when a frozen world locked away for millennia starts to thaw? In 2014, a helicopter crew flying over Siberia discovers something mysterious.
Orlando has impregnated 4 women. Man, is he going to be able to pay for all those kids he's making? God damn, dude. How irresponsible. Bringing people onto this fucking planet in mass, you know? Fucking irresponsible. I feel sorry for those 4 kids. You know, and their measly 50-year-old lives that they're going to end up, you know, having to deal with.
A crater more than 80 feet wide and
there was
deeper
no
than
fucking
a 15-story
foresight.
building. Sinkholes are nothing new, but this is no ordinary sinkhole.
The ground has exploded. There's no way. This is not real.
So understand, these are not sinkholes, and that the creators and producers of this production, Nova and PBS, do you a huge disservice the entire time by calling these fucking sinkholes. And none of them are sinkholes. So just so you know, I'm smarter than the people who titled this video. Just so you know.
More Siberian craters have since been discovered. There's even evidence they may be appearing in Alaska.
The lake bottom went from being flat, 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 and then it just dropped out.
And they show no sign of stopping.
Right. So, now we could sit here for a long time and I could let you watch this video. But, you know, I can already tell by the way my chat numbers have dropped since I started playing the video that my audience isn't interested in learning about this sort of thing. So for those of you who are interested in it, I'm going to tell you this. Follow me on Twitter. He's got 14 kids and 5 grandkids. Whatever. I don't want to hear about Orlando anymore. Let me get back to what I'm talking about, Gussie, okay? For those of you who do care about this, who want to learn about it, I've told you a million times, follow me on Twitter. The video is there for you. Follow @Nays Garden. The video is there. Only 2 of you saw it. And why should I waste my time here chasing my audience members out to show you guys a video that you don't even want to watch? Right? So people started leaving as soon as I started playing the video. So I'm not going to play the video. But I'm going to tell you this. Okay. So because the planet is getting warmer, the permafrost that covers frozen areas around the world, that permafrost is melting. It's getting weaker. And that's allowing methane, which is all inside our planet. We've got lots of methane, but it's covered up by permafrost, right? The methane's starting to escape at massive amounts. The fracking that we're doing, cracking the ground apart, is releasing more methane. But that's okay. Let Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden increase our fracking and release more methane into the atmosphere. This show not only goes deep into what's going on, what's causing it, but what the effects are of it on us and how we don't have a lot of time left, period. There's nothing that's going to stop this. It's horrific. Now, since my audience has already proven to me this morning by your lack of chat and interest in this video and the fact that half of you have already walked out because I started playing a video for 2 whole minutes, I'm just not going to fucking even bother. Why should I waste my time? Right? This is what happens every day on here. I find you something that backs up everything that I've been telling you, and oh, you don't want to hear the facts and you don't want to hear the evidence because that means Nay's right, and we don't want to see Nay proving himself right. Good. Fine. Fuck it. We'll move on. All right? And if you want to watch that video, it's an hour long. It's going to show you that methane is causing these explosions underground. They're opening up these giant holes, and these chasms of methane are releasing into the atmosphere, and methane is CO2 on steroids. It's way worse, and we're releasing metric ton after metric ton every day into the atmosphere. But it's just too bad none of y'all, have anything to say in the chat about it at all as of yet. Not a single peep. Not a single peep out of any of you about it. Nothing. So I'm not going to play you the video. All right? We'll move on. Next item was... 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's all. Oh, no, that was 2. What was the third one? Oh, yeah. The fucking black supremacist dude on Twitter. That's going to be interesting. We'll have fun with that. Yeah, methane's dangerous, right, Nick? I'm in the wrong place, dude. Podcasting is just not for me. I need to go somewhere else, man. To find fucking people who I can talk to. Yeah, let's go to Twitter. I'll check it out after I'm done shoveling, listening to you while I'm doing so. Right on, Brian. 5 inches of snow. So, this has been going on for 2 days. I've gotten to a conversation about white supremacy on Twitter. Hey, Bab Blue Jaws, you're going to like this. We haul dirt into landfills to smother out fires when the methane ignites. Huh. Wow. So, yeah, let's get into this. It's going to be interesting, man. We're going to have a whole talk about racism and white supremacy. And, yeah, it's just too bad you guys are too fucking dead in the morning to respond to anything that I give you. God, fuck, man. It's so fucking frustrating for me to deal with people who just can't seem to. You know, I need smarter people in here who are going to fucking interact with some of these goddamn. I need more people. That's just it. I need more people. This is bullshit. I can't do the show with 10 people watching. I need 100 people watching so 10 of them will interact with me. You know, I get like 1% interaction on here. I got one guy saying, you know, methane's dangerous. Thank you, Nick. It is. And I got another guy telling me he's shoveling snow. You know? You were watching Jackson? Oh, good. Let me get started with this, all right? I'm already in a shitty mood because you guys don't want to fucking play ball this morning. So, let's get going. Tariq Nasheed put this up on, and I responded to it. He said, a lot of suspected white supremacists are tweeting, I stand with Joe Rogan. Hey, I stand with Joe Rogan, and I'm not a white supremacist. So I automatically had a problem with that. I just got called a white supremacist. You know? Because they like having the ability to call black people the N-word. You know, I can't say it. He used the fucking word. And they agree with Planet of the Apes analogies of the black community. My response was, I support Joe Rogan's right to free speech, so I must be a racist? Well, I stand with Joe Rogan even firmer now. I wonder how many black artists you support that use the exact same language. And you want to know what his response was to that? I don't think I got one. I don't think I got one. But I also want to say this. When they say that because I support Joe Rogan, I agree with his Planet of the Apes analogy, that's patently false. You know, Joe Rogan said something stupid. I will credit him with saying it and say that, you know, he shouldn't have fucking said it. I would never say anything that's stupid. And it was stupid that he said it. It was racist. He apologized for it, and I forgive him. I'm a beautiful person, and I can forgive him. All right? He's not racist. So I will forgive him. You know, Ben Shapiro, that's a racist. Joe Biden, that's a fucking racist. Donald Trump, there's a fucking racist right there. I'm not going to forgive those motherfuckers because they're proud of their racism. Joe Rogan, not proud at all of anything racist he's ever said. He's not proud of it, and he doesn't do it anymore. He's learned, he's grown, and that's not good enough for these motherfuckers. Seeing the change, seeing the growth, not good enough. You were once a bad person. You once said some bad words, and we're not going to forgive you for it. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, well, let's go through this Twitter feed here, and let's just find out some of the words that some of the people here decide to use and how I responded, okay? And you guys can judge for yourselves on who the real racists are. And if you believe that Joe Rogan is the racist here in this conversation. All right? Oh, good, Josh. I'm glad you're going to fucking keep up now. We quit sharing you to our groups and tolerating people. It's because we quit sharing you to our groups and tolerating people? What? Jack Hepkins, what? Because you quit sharing me to groups? No. You don't have to share me to groups for people to show up here. Dude, there are days when nobody shares this at all, and I have plenty of people. That's not it at all. In fact, the majority of my audience comes from YouTube, not from Facebook. So, that's not true at all. and tolerating people. That's just a fragment. You're not saying anything there. Just so you know, Jack. So let's get into this. This guy, not Tariq, but somebody else named Jason Argonaut. He jumps in to the fray. Right? And of course, I want y'all to know this. None of you guys are here. None of you guys are here. This has been going on for 2 days. None of you are here. I'm getting sick of y'all. I really am. The lack of support. I'm over there showing, the most amount of facts, data, and truth. And I can't get you motherfuckers to come over and fucking help. Not even a goddamn like or a retweet or nothing. Look, Tariq with his bullshit, he's got 2004 likes. I've got 2. Thank you, all of you, for all of your support. Okay, so Brian, thank you for participating finally. Brian, good. He says, bro, is this guy stupid? I understand you cannot be calling people the N-word, but that doesn't change the fact that he apologized. Right, he apologized. He shouldn't have done it. It was stupid. That's racist terminology, and he shouldn't have fucking used it. He did it a lot. He's fucking at least 11 times or 22 times, whatever the fuck it was. And he's like, okay, I thought I could say it, but I can't. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not a racist. I don't hate black people. I don't hate people based on the color of their skin. I just used a word I shouldn't have, and I was an idiot. Okay, you are an idiot. We forgive you. We can forgive an idiot. It also doesn't mean that the word is going to hit its downfall. The world is going to hit its downfall because Joe Rogan said some controversial shit. Yeah, the world's not coming to an end because of this. Why people watch the show. They might be. I don't know. Anyway, this guy, Jay Argonaut, he chimes in. And you're going to be interested in this because this is where the conversation goes. He says, free speech advocacy and white supremacy are not mutually exclusive. So my response was, white supremacy speech is free speech until it calls for violence. Same goes for black and gay pride. You want to be proud to be black? You want to be proud to be white? You can say that all you want. You just can't be proud and then ask for violence against, marginalized people or an individual. So you got to understand how the law works before you start engaging in conversations about the law. Right? All right, let's keep going. His response to me, so now we're just going with Jay Argonaut here, right? Now it's just me and him. Nobody else is interested in jumping in this conversation. It's just me and him. So now he says, racist white liberals have been on one lately. First, y'all. So I'm a racist white liberal now, everybody. He's calling me y'all. So I'm getting called names already. Racist? Yeah. He says, I'm a racist white liberal. That's a racist statement to say that I'm a white liberal. Who cares what color my skin is if I'm liberal, right? It's racist. What if I call him a black, whatever the fuck he is? Oh, well, then all of a sudden that's racist. You can't say that somebody's black. Well, you shouldn't be able to call someone white and use it disparagingly. That's racism. It doesn't work both ways. Oh, it does. And I just beg of you, sit around and wait. I know some of you might think that I'm being racist right now, but I'm just defending my right to free speech. So listen up. First, y'all, capping, I don't know what caping or capping is, for Kyle Rittenhouse, and now going hard in the paint for Rogan. So he's claiming that I supported Kyle Rittenhouse. I never did. I never did, ever. Right? So he's got me wrong. He grouped me and he said, y'all. He said I supported Kyle Rittenhouse, and he says I'm going hard in the paint for Rogan. Another lie. I'm not going hard in the paint for Rogan. I'm going hard in the paint for Rogan's right to free speech, which should not be infringed upon. Is that fair? Now, whether or not I support Joe Rogan, that's really not part of this conversation, is it? He wants to make it part of the conversation. All right, let's keep going. And why is it no matter where whites fall on the political spectrum, they continue to equate white supremacy and black liberation? I do not. I do not. At all. I don't equate them at all. You know, you want to say black supremacy and white supremacy and equate those? Well, they're the exact same thing, just a different color. You know, it's like, are you going to drive a black Porsche or a white Porsche? Would you fucking care? The color really doesn't matter at that point, right? It's a fucking Porsche. That's a good analogy. Let's keep going. So now he responds again because his first response wasn't enough. So he responds again and he says, I never said Rogan should be deplatformed for dropping the N-bomb, but I think he needs to be ready for whatever consequences, physical or otherwise, some aggrieved party decides on meeting out. Maybe some folks can help him LARP his favorite movie. So he's literally now suggesting violence against Joe Rogan. He's calling for violence, and that is hate speech. That's hate speech. The only thing that stops it from actually being hate speech is the fact that Joe Rogan is a public figure. If he had said that about me, or if he had said that about a marginalized group of people, this fucking dude would lose his Twitter account, I guarantee you. And he's skating on very thin ice right now just by using this type of rhetoric. Physical or otherwise. Okay, right. I don't think Joe Rogan's going to have a problem defending himself physically. Just, you know. Just saying. So, I'd consider an act of self-defense. So, he's also saying that an act of violence against Joe Rogan, he says he's defending himself. Because the words hurt him so harshly. Those words. Oh, the words. The words. I'm defending myself. I need to self-defend myself and I have to commit violence against Joe Rogan because he said words that hurt my feelings. Wow, really, bro? Really, bro? He's still going off here. I haven't even responded yet. You see this shit? He's still going off. He's responding to himself. But regardless of how many entertainers use it, there are more foundational black Americans, myself included, who in the span of time covered in that video have managed to avoid using it altogether, or hard art, even in reference to someone else. Yeah, and I agree. I agree with this one statement, and you notice that I gave it a like. You see the like? I liked it. And once again, I'm just going to say, you guys should all be involved in this conversation. You all should be defending me, defending Joe Rogan, and defending free speech against this racist dude. You really should. You know, I don't know why you won't fucking come to Twitter and help me out. But understand, it's your lack of support here. It's the lack of support for people on this podcast. The day I'm gone, don't ask questions, man. Don't fucking ask a single question. You better not. Guarantee I'm going to be bitter as fuck when I leave the show and I don't come back. There should be no question in your minds that y'all, hey, maybe you wanted to fucking come to a show and hang out and get high, but you didn't feel like chatting. Oh, you wanted to fucking take all of my gold and not come to Twitter and try to fucking repay me with some simple mouse clicks that cost you nothing. Understand it. You know, this is fucking pathetic. I write gold all day. All I do is make sense, and I get ignored by all of you, everyone. But we'll keep going here. I'm just going to put this out there. One day, maybe I'll come back and watch this video and enjoy it. You know? So I agree. There's no reason for anyone to use the N-word ever. You know? And if you find yourself using it, you might have a problem. You know? It's the one word. One word. You know, we've got white privilege and we've got black privilege. You know what white privilege is? White privilege is you get all the privileges that the world has to offer. You know what black privilege is? You get to say the N-word. That's it, period. It's not a lot, but hey man, at least there's that. And I'm okay with that. You know, of course, there should be more. But that's the way the world works right now, and I'm okay with that. I don't have to use the N-word ever. I don't have to use it. Why should I? Right? So, you know, good for y'all. Good for me. I agree. You shouldn't use the fucking word. If you can't help yourself from using the word, maybe you shouldn't be fucking podcasting and trying to make $100 million, you know? He was wrong. I'm just not calling him racist for using the word. I'm not calling him a white supremacist for using the word. You know, it was racist of him to use that word, in my opinion. It was. But it doesn't make him a full-blooded white supremacist, black American hating racist. It doesn't. Hey, Adam. I clicked and shared my first tweet. It was yours. Well, thank you, Adam. What took you so long, buddy? I don't understand why you guys are so scared of fucking sharing tweets for me, man. You know, I do it every day. Anyway, let's keep going here. He says something else after this. He says, my problem with you liberal racists. You. I love the language he uses. He's so hateful. You know, he can't just have a oops. He can't just have a legitimate, uh-oh, I think I clicked on something here. Oh no, I think we're good. But regardless of how many entertainers use, there's more. Okay, so okay. My problem with you liberal racists is you're giving the man a pass for what is clearly an established pattern of casual white supremacist behavior. You know, I gave it a like, and I somewhat agree with the statement. So I gave it a like. I think people that sit there while Joe Rogan used the N-word and didn't call him on that, yeah, that's casual. It's casual of them to just sit there and act like it's okay for him to talk like that. I agree. You calling me a liberal racist, it's incorrect. And it's not fair. And you need to stop doing it. You know, you need to stop using language like you liberal racists when you're talking to me. You know, because you got me wrong. I'm not a racist. I don't hate people based on the color of their skin. And if I was a racist, I guarantee you this. Why would I be having a conversation with a black man on the internet? Trying to convince him of how I feel about something that I feel everyone should agree with. Right? Why should I waste my time with someone who I didn't like based on the color of their skin? Why would I care about his opinion at all? Why would I put a like on an argument point that he made against me? Right? Is he liking any of my shit? Who's the real racist here, man? Is it the white guy or is it the black guy? Who's the real racist here? Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, you didn't like your shit, Nate. He's arguing with you. Right, I know. Just hold on. Calm the fuck down, sit the fuck down, and shut the fuck up and wait. And for all of you little pussy motherfuckers that are walking out on me, fuck you. Your mom's a cunt. She raised a fucking cunt. So fuck you for leaving this goddamn show. All right? Stay and watch and learn something for a change. I hate racists, so I'm a racist to racists. Yeah, you're a racist, bro. You're racist against racists. I love it. So I had to go back and look up what FBA was. He had already used it. Fundamental Black Americans, right? Foundational Black Americans. Okay. Comparing being around foundational Black Americans to somehow living on the planet of the apes and platforming people who say we're genetically prone to violence. It's not right. I agree. He's got a good point. Overall, normalizing the sorts of dehumanizing tropes about foundational Black Americans that leads people to feel justified in killing us. And I said, could he have been referring to the actual living conditions and not the color of the people's skin? I'm just saying. And he says, revising the part about y'all ignoring his established pattern of casual white supremacist behavior, I'm going to say no. Comparing us to apes and monkeys is so common that it's ubiquitous at this point. So my point was, yeah, sorry, not buying your opinion that Joe Rogan is a white supremacist, regardless of all of the statements he's made in the past. I'm still not going to go with the fact that he's a white supremacist. And look, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to like this comment. And I'm going to like this comment too, not necessarily because I agree, but I like the conversation. You know? I like the conversation back and forth. Is a slick fence that has caused a lot of attention getting debate. I agree that it, among other words, have been taken from their original form and changed to the English language to do exactly what it's doing by causing conflict, which makes all engage the truth about words and intentions. Wow, Baba Blue Draws. Holy shit, bro. Thank you. Wow. Nay, you're destroying this man. Oh, no. No, Josh. I'm not destroying this man. This man is about to destroy himself. Okay? It's not me. He does it all on himself, and all I do is I just show you what he says. Okay? So watch. He says, naturally, because white leftists like you, he just called me white, sit around reaping all the benefits of colonialism, slavery, and white supremacy, you can afford to be dismissive of it. I'm not going to like that statement. You know, he's being a racist cunt right now. So I say, I don't dismiss colonialism, slavery, and white supremacy. I just don't falsely accuse Joe Rogan of it. You guys keeping up with that? Because guess what? That's where it ended. That was 11 hours ago. And he didn't have an answer. You know, he's trying to say that I'm dismissive of colonialism, slavery, and white supremacy. I fucking hate all of that shit. I fucking hate it. I don't support any of it. Are you kidding me? You think I support slavery? You think I support white supremacists? Are you fucking kidding me? That's a straight out lie. And you're calling me white? You're a fucking racist, right? So, he put up a video, okay, a video response. And his video response, I'm going to show it to you, goes like this. If I can find it. Where's his fucking video response? Okay, I'm going to have to go to my channel. Hold on. I got to go to my channel and try to find this reply because I don't see his video all of a sudden. Okay, tweets and replies. So stupid that you have to go to tweets and replies. It should just all be tweets, man. All right, here we go. Great. So he put this video up. Okay? And I want you guys to listen to his video, okay? And then I'm going to play you my response. Okay? Why is that doing that? What's it? Oh, that's the wrong monitor. That's why. Okay, cool. All right. I don't agree with Tariq, though, because he left a lot of detail out. Factually provable, Rogan is not a racist. I don't agree with Tariq. I definitely see why you liked it, Nate. It shouldn't be a casual conversation, as anyone says, any racist stuff against anyone. But it's not just hate towards any race. It's all people. Sometimes you got to let the fire burn. Dommy says, good morning. Hey, Dom. Josh, slandering you and defaming you. Yeah, that's okay. On Twitter, I don't mind people slandering and defaming me, or coming on my podcast and slandering and defaming me. It's all on the table. You know, as far as my social media is concerned, I don't care. I don't make a big deal about it. It's not like I've got this great big reputation to protect, guys. Right? It's not like 3 minutes. Give me a second here, guys. It's not like I've got a lot of people that watch me and care about me and love me. I don't. Unfortunately, I know that's fucking sad, and I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep repeating it. I'm going to keep pointing it out. It's fucking pathetic. But once again, all right. So listen to what Tariq is. This is guys. No, not Tariq. This guy's Jason. Okay. So listen to what Jason says here. All right, and then I'm gonna respond.
24 different times on 24 different occasions, and everyone, especially people on the left, were like, well, that's not really indicative of character. And that right there is the problem with white liberals and leftists. It's that race isn't a big deal to you because it doesn't affect you.
Let me ask, can people not change? Can someone be a racist, see the error of their ways, and then stop being a racist? And when they do, should you still cast them aside? Or should you accept them into the fold? What's the whole point of trying to convince people of racism if you're not going to forgive the people that used to be racists that are no longer racist? Now, I'm going to say, okay, fine. You want to say that Joe Rogan was a racist when he was throwing the N-word around? Fine. 11 years ago, whenever, 3 years ago, whatever the fuck. Fine. Fine. Is he still a racist? No. Why won't you forgive him? Why can't you see through your anger? But I digress. Just wait, guys. Just wait.
So you see racism and you go, oh, I mean, that's fine because I'm racist. Then, I don't know. It's just wild to see play out in real time. Fuck y'all.
I can excuse racism, but I draw the line in animal cruelty.
So this is just stupid.
Fuck y'all.
I can excuse...
You go, oh, I mean, that's fine because I'm racist. Then, I don't know. It's just wild to see play out in real time.
Yeah, it's wild for you to think that everyone that disagrees with you is a fucking racist. Wild. You know, because I support free speech, now I'm a racist. Now I'm a white supremacist. Doesn't fucking make sense. But I digress. Like I said. Watch this. You watching? So, that was his video response to me saying, sorry, not buying your opinion that Joe Rogan is a white supremacist, right? So then I ask him a question, and I say, have you ever called someone white? And I should have said, have you ever called someone white in a derogatory fashion? And I left off derogatory fashion because calling someone white isn't a bad thing. But using it in a derogatory fashion, well, now that's racism, right? And instead of waiting for him to respond, I thought to myself, well, I know this guy's called motherfuckers white. He's called me white 10 times already on this goddamn, in this thing. But let me go somewhere else. Let me go to his Twitter feed and find the last time he used the word white in a derogatory fashion. He uses the word white on almost every post. But it only took 2 of these. 2 scrolls. 2 swipes. And this is what I found. It takes 2 white folks to make up for one LeVar Burton. Wow. Now what would happen if I said that? Let's reverse that. Let's reverse that statement. What if I said it took 2 black folks to make up me? How would that make him feel? Would that be a racist statement? Is that saying that white people have more value as a human being than it would take 2 black people to equal 1 white person? Oh yeah, it would. So in this case, it takes 2 white folks to make up 1 LeVar Burton, who must be a black guy. I don't know. I don't know who LeVar Burton is. I'm assuming, call me a racist for assuming he's referring to a black man. I'm assuming this. Am I right, guys? Is LeVar Burton black? I bet he is. The reason why I'm thinking that's the context is because of the previous statement, it takes 2 white folks. Oh, he doesn't get to retract the statement because I fucking screenshotted it. So it's never going to disappear from the internet now. And I guarantee you start scrolling through old Jason Argonauty's Twitter feed, which I don't have the fucking time to do. It would be beautiful if one of you guys could produce for me and do this shit. And find, it's Geordie LaForge from Star Trek? LeVar Burton is Geordie? I didn't know that. Oh, he's black. He's a black guy. He is a black guy, right? Geordie's black. He's on Star Trek, but he's black. Yeah, he's a black guy. Not a lot of black people on Star Trek, right? It takes two white folks to make up for one LeVar Burton. I want to get a 1. Now, I want you guys, there's 13 of you in this chat right now, and I'm not expecting all 13 of you to type because I've blocked some of you recently. I don't fucking care to hear from you motherfuckers. But for everybody who's not blocked that is in the chat, and there's 13 of you, how many ones can I get that agree that that is a racist statement made by, oh, he must be a racist because he uses racist rhetoric. So he must hate white people just as much as Joe Rogan hates black people. Joe Rogan must hate black people. He's a white supremacist, right? Wow, Bad Blue Jaws, thank you. Hippie Chick, thank you. Yeah, that's a racist fucking statement. And it's racist against who? White people. And like I said, it only took 2 swipes. 1, 2. What's the date on that? September 21st? It was a while back. November 21st? I don't know why it says September 21st. September. That was a while back. September 21. September. So 4 months ago. Wow, he doesn't tweet a lot, I guess. Because that was near the top of his feed. So I really pulled this guy out, you know. I pulled him out and I made him speak, which is great. It's what I do. Yeah, he even posted a video for me. You know? Yeah, he's fishing for you to go off. Well, he's got me, and it's fine because that's exactly what I want. This is exactly the kind of thing that I want to discuss. He's only got 430 followers. I don't want to be punching down, but understand, I have a feeling he's an up-and-comer on Twitter, and he'll be doing fine, and he'll get a big following, and sooner or later, people are going to go back and see this interaction between him and me and go, wow, the old man that sits on the hill and smokes cannabis, he was right. And the young up-and-comer on Twitter, he was totally wrong. He was racist. He was dead right about First Amendment free speech and not a racist. And that's all I ask is that people just, you know, give me credit for it, man. Now look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 13 people think that that was a racist statement, man. That's pathetic. But anyway, there is your 3 subjects. As I said before, it's too bad none of y'all wanted to say a goddamn chat about the goddamn methane. Does anybody give a fuck about the goddamn extinction of humanity? Of your species? Does anybody here give a fuck about the fact that we're going extinct and want to learn more about it? Maybe try to take some, you know, necessary measures to try to make your lives a little bit more comfortable as the world starts, you know, grinding to a halt? I don't know. Anyone interested in that? Oh, Bad Blue Jaws. Anybody? Oh, Hippie Chick. Nick. 3 of you? 3? 1/5 of my audience? Anybody else? Dr. Guy Mcpherson gave me the okay on this video. Dommy. Okay, that's 4. Can I get 1/3 of my audience and get one of you? One more person to say they want to watch this video? And to the one person who just left, hey, you're a cunt. Fuck you. And your mom's a cunt too. Fuck you. Hells yeah, I must have missed that topic. Okay, great. All right, well, we'll get back to it. But first, Newfoundland. All right. No law regarding smoking before a good segment. You know, it breaks my heart that I have to fucking be a cheerleader for myself. It fucking breaks my heart. You know, self-promotion is the most disgusting thing on the planet. And I have to do it on this show every day just to try to hold on by a fucking thread. Yeah, that was lame. That was a lame hit. Still getting me high though. Making me happy. Jellyfish. Your brother is installing solar panels in West Virginia because of my show. Wow, hippie chick, that's fucking great. That makes me happy. Happy. Good. Well, I should hear from more people like you. It keeps me here. To know that I have an influence on people that makes me happy. It doesn't feel like it because people just don't return on the reg to take all of this in. And I mean, there's people all day. They have CNN on in the background. They have Fox News on in the background. They have MSNBC on in the background. They've got podcasts on in the background. They've got documentaries on in the background, the TV, whatever the fuck. Just have me on in the background. Just have me on in the background. I'll bring you so much information. At some point, you'll be walking through the living room and you'll be like, whoa, dude, I want to hear him talk about this, I was hoping it would make me happy. Well, it did. It made me very happy. I wish you guys would let me know if I'm changing your lives and making your lives better. The past couple days. Sorry, bro. I'll catch up. Nick, it's okay. I love that you go there and you spam the fuck out of my likes and retweets, bro. I love that. But it makes everyone else look so bad, bro. You make everyone look so bad. You do such a great job. You and Doc Hollandaise, and sometimes Steve Running does. Hippie Chick tries. Some of you try. But it's just falling so short, man, And I know I'm right. That's the thing that's fucking got me the most pissed off. Is I know when I get into a conversation with a black guy about racism, about Rogan, I know I'm 100% right about all of it. And this debate that him and I had, it should be all over the internet. Everybody should be talking about that shit. Everybody should be engaged in that conversation. And anybody that wants to try to take me on, like he did on Twitter, he gave up. Like I said, when did he post that? 17 hours ago, man. I'm still waiting to hear back. I don't know. Maybe he gave up. I'm waiting for the block to come down, man, This is usually what happens when I make sense and someone runs out of options. All he's doing is calling me names, calling me names, calling me names, calling me names. The whole time, it's all he can do is call me names. I'm a white supremacist. I'm a white racist. I'm a white this. I'm a white that. I support, slavery. I support white supremacy. I support Joe Rogan, who's a white supremacist. It's fucking psychotic. But it's not just him. Understand that. It's so many people on the left that just don't get it because they don't watch Rogan. They don't know what he puts on his show. They only know what people want them to think he puts on his show with their rhetoric and their bullshit. Oh, he's had Ben Shapiro on. Oh, okay. Well, he's had Ben Shapiro on. I can't support him now. He had Ben Shapiro on. Because Ben Shapiro makes your dick feel that big, doesn't he? Because you're not smart enough to listen to him and realize that he's not making any sense. That sure, everything he says is a fact. Unfortunately, it's all just cherry-picked facts, and he never gives you the other side, man. Once you realize these guys' games, you can own them. Well, you're not giving me the whole story, Ben. You're not giving me the whole story, Jordan Peterson. You're not giving me all the facts, Tim Pool, Fox News. You're not fucking giving me all the facts. That's your trick. You can harp on one thing, and that's all you got. You're a one-trick pony. Come at me with some facts to back up the one thing that you're trying to straw man me with. You got nothing. And it doesn't matter what we talk about. You're wrong on every single point. The problem is, these fucking cunt liberals, they hear these arguments and they're too stupid to work through them. All they hear is fire and brimstone coming at them, and they cower and they wither. From people like Charlie Kirk, from people like Candace Owens. Are you fucking kidding me? From people like fucking that pipsqueak motherfucker, Greg Gutfeld. Or, Tucker Carlson. Oh my God! Do you know who's making me sick right now? Jimmy Dore. He's making me sick. Do you know what he fucking did? I turned it off. I was like, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna fucking show you. Do you guys know who this motherfucker is in Congress? Give me a minute. All right, give me a minute. I'm gonna pull it up right to the right spot. Because I paused the video. I said, I can't watch this anymore. I turned it off. It's going to be paused right where I stopped it at. Yeah. CNN doctor ratioed after misleading about COVID science. Jimmy Dore, right? With Kurt Metzger. Okay. I got, how long into this video? I just watched a Rogan video too, which was fantastic. It was about Yemen. You know, because Rogan's such a white supremacist, he wants to expose what America is doing in Yemen. I got
the misinformation they spread.
I got 1 minute and 9 seconds into a Jimmy Dore broadcast upload, and I had to shut it off because I was so fucking disgusted. He was quoting Ron Johnson. Do you guys know who Senator Ron Johnson is? Let me know in the chat right now. Give me a 1 in the chat if you do not know who Ron Johnson is. Senator Ron Johnson. I don't even know what state he's from, but I know what he's about. Give me a 1 in the chat if you do not know who Senator Ron Johnson is. I'm not going to give you a 1 because I've known who he was, but I don't know who he's a senator for. You don't know? He's a Trumper, right? Orlando, he's a Trumper. Bad Blue Jaws, not sure who he is. Steven Swift, not sure who he is. Trendy Nick, not sure who he is. It's fair. Good. When you guys find some of the gems of Ron Johnson. I wish I had a Ron Johnson highlight reel for you. So not only is he a Trumper, he is a January 6th supporter, right? He's Stop the Steal. You guys want to hear? Do I need to play the rhetoric? I mean, it's basically Marjorie Taylor Greene Jew laser shit. Ron Johnson. Understand the level of moron that Senator Ron Johnson, the man is a fucking right-wing nut job moron. He makes all Republicans look semi-intelligent. Did you hear what I said? Ron Johnson is such a stupid fucking Republican that he makes almost all Republicans look semi-intelligent. Really? That's how dumb this fucking Republic cunt. Now this is a Republic cunt. Right? When I say a shit lib, you got your shit libs. Okay, well, there's Republic cunts. Okay? Ron Johnson is a Republic cunt. And I know that about Ron Johnson. And Jimmy Dore knows it too. And I want you to see in the first minute of this upload what Jimmy Dore has to say about his boy, Ron Johnson. Because it's fucking shocking. You know, because a broken clock is right twice a day. And Ron Johnson, oh wow, Ron Johnson said one thing that Jimmy Dore can agree with. So goddamn, let's platform Ron Johnson now. You know, let's platform Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Let's platform Dr. Robert Malone. You know, let's platform every fucking idiot out there because I'm Jimmy Dore and I just can't stop doing this shit. Here's what Jimmy has to say about Ron Johnson. God damn it. I'm sorry, guys. Now, I'm going to play this from the beginning in all fairness to Jimmy Dore. Because I love the man still. But Jimmy, fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you.
Science has changed. So, who this is the lady this is the doctor that goes on CNN all the time now. She says, I agree with, this is from a long time ago. This is from 2020. I agree with Dr. Fauci that it's time for a national mask mandate. Masks can save 100,000 lives in the coming months. There's plenty of precedent. We don't allow people to drive while intoxicated. People shouldn't have a right to not be infected by it. So, okay, now she's changed. Now she says the science has changed. It explains why she supports lifting some pandemic restrictions and thinks the decision to wear a mask should shift from a government mandate to an individual choice.
I agree with that.
And then she tweeted this out. Oh, no, so then Senator Ron Johnson tweeted her out and said public health...
All right. Now, I want you guys to realize how Jimmy Dore said, and Ron Johnson. Did you guys hear how he just kind of glazed through that? He didn't say, Senator Ron Johnson, who's a Republic cunt, who I don't agree with a single word that he's ever said, ever. He doesn't preface it with that. This drives me fucking crazy, Jimmy. This is you straw manning your audience again. You know, because one person who's a senator said something you agree with, you try to put them up on a pedestal, platform them, and claim that they're a legitimate source of support for your narrative. Now, I'm sorry that so few of my audience can't keep up with this. It's really basic, guys. Fucking try to keep up. Please. I'm talking to people who've left. You're cunts. You fucking motherfucking cunts. Fuck you. Unbelievable. I give you content like this. If you wouldn't leave, I wouldn't get so pissed off. You fucking douchebags.
Health experts like Dr. Lena Wen went from pro-government mandate to it should be an individual choice because the science has changed. The science never changed, but they can no longer deny the truth. This is Senator Ron Johnson, who everybody paints as a kook over COVID.
But you won't. But you won't paint him as a kook over. He said everybody, but not himself. He said everybody paints him as a kook. The man is a kook over COVID. Ron Johnson is a kook over COVID. And Jimmy Dore, because he says one thing that Jimmy Dore agrees with, for some reason, can't also call him a kook on COVID. No, Ron Johnson deserves all of your attention now, everybody. We should all worship Ron Johnson.
Will the COVID gods be held accountable for misinformation they spread? The answer to you is no. They'll never be held accountable for the misinformation they spread because we have documented it here at this show that Fauci has been lying from day one about this. From day one, Fauci's been lying about COVID and masks.
Now understand, at this point I'd shut the video off. Because he's platforming Ron Johnson. And I think that is the stupidest thing. It's one thing I fucking hate about Joe Rogan. And I stopped watching him for a long time. Because he was platforming assholes like Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens and Tim Pool and Michael Malice. You know, and they're all fucking right-wing nutjob idiots. They're cunts. And I fucking hate Joe Rogan for doing that. At the same time, I know he's not a racist. Because he has people from the other side on there too. But I'm just saying how it makes me fucking feel. I don't like it, but free speech to all, right? I just wish these motherfuckers wouldn't platform these cunts.
And all kinds of things. And
I
where
mean,
the virus came from.
Jimmy, right here, okay? Me and you. Are you ready? I don't want to talk to just Jimmy Dore. Jimmy, listen. You can prove your point without platforming assholes. You can there's a million other ways you can prove your points. You don't have to platform assholes who agree with you. You know, if Adolf Hitler was still alive and he agreed with what you said, would you be platforming him too, bro? You're smarter than that. Fair? Was that fair, guys? Give me a 1 in the chat if you think that was fair.
And herd immunity. And no, they'll never be held. He won't even be fired. So, no. But they make it out like this guy's the liar. And so she retweets him, the Dr. CNN, Lena Wen, says, with respect, Senator Ron Johnson.
Thank you, Bad Blue
changed.
Jones. Thank
Science
you, Stephen.
has changed, she says.
Thank you, Dami, Josh.
She says we didn't have vaccines for children 5 to 11 until
Thank
November.
you, guys.
And so, what is that? So that's what's changed. Now kids have vaccines. Well, I got news for you. Frickin' kids are not getting vaccinated. The overwhelming majority of kids are not vaccinated. I would say probably like 7 out of 10 kids are not vaccinated, if not higher. So what has that changed? We know now vaccines protect well against Omicron. Now, I don't know what she means by that.
Why are they making a new Omicron vaccine?
Why are they making a new Omicron vaccine right now? Why are they doing that? I don't know what she means. So when she says we know vaccines protect well against Omicron, I think she means that they protect against serious illness, right? And hospitalization. But
Well, just anecdotally, Jimmy, let me just tell you this. I sat right there on that couch next to a friend of mine, right next to her, watching movies. she had Omicron, right? She was sick for 14 days with Omicron. She couldn't even get out of bed. I'm vaxxed. I'm boosted. I sat next to her. We breathed the same air. Absolutely breathed the same air for a long time. And I didn't get it. I didn't catch it. Now, anecdotally saying, do I believe that the vaccine and the booster shots prevented me from catching that? Yeah, I do. Anecdotally, I think it helped me. Personally, I do. Could I be wrong? I could be wrong. Maybe I just got lucky. We weren't wearing masks. I didn't know she was sick. My point is this, Jimmy. I'm vaxxed. I'm boosted. I literally did my own fucking test. And the vaccine and the booster passed. I didn't catch it. So before you start saying that that's not true, you know, let's see how many more people like me you can find out there. You know? People who've been exposed and didn't catch it because they were vaxxed and boosted. Kind of curious. And, Jimmy, have you looked up a study to see people who are vaxxed and boosted, how resilient they are to catching it? Have you even looked it up? And if you looked it up, would you share it with your audience, Jimmy? Because it completely negates your whole narrative, doesn't it? Huh. Wow. Oh, and Kurt Metzger's too, because he agrees with everything you fucking say now. Was he the only comedian you can find now that will put his face on your show that will agree with you on everything?
Well, we've always known that about the vaccines. We've always known that. And then the third thing is she says one-way masking with N95, KN95 protects the wearer. Change. Well, we've always known that too. We've always known that. What we also know now is that most people don't wear them properly. But if worn properly, they certainly do that. But that isn't new news.
But the highest, like the most high-tech mask you can get works.
Right. Right.
Like,
I think these are even called ventilators. I think they're even called that.
You know, she's an idiot. She's an idiot for saying the science has changed. Science doesn't change, right? It wasn't science if it was wrong, right? It became science. It was misinformation. Once we proved it correct, then it became science. You know, she calls misinformation science. Oh, it's changed. No, that was misinformation, not science. If you're lying about something, it's not science. If I say this is a piece of cement, just me claiming that's science, and then next week saying, oh, yeah, that's right, it's particle board. Oh, the science has changed, or was I just lying to you? Who's making the most sense on the internet today, guys? I just want to know. Who's making the most sense today? Me or Jimmy Dore? I know it's
I don't know. So by the way,
I know it's a low bar, Jimmy. Sorry. It's a very low bar for you lately, bro. You know, the last 2 months, Jimmy, you have made, and look, I don't want to do it, but you've made calling you out on your bullshit so easy for me. Look, I don't want to do this. I hate fucking doing it. I wish that you never did this shit. I wish Ron Placone never did. Graham Elwood, Lee Camp, your wife, David Packman, Kyle Kalinske, or any of the right-wingers that I ever call out on my show. I wish you always got it right. I really do, man. I wish everybody always got it right, and that my job was to show how awesome and smart and how dead-on accurate you guys were all the time. But you turn me into a liar if I try to do that when you act like this. Understand that, Jimmy. You turn me into a liar. Bro, I'm keeping it real, and I can't keep people watching this. They're going to go turn on fucking CNN for the whole day instead of watch me all day. Yeah, I can't keep people watching this fucking show when I'm making the most sense. Anyway, like I said, science doesn't change. Science is science. You know, you got misinformation and you got science. Once you figure it out, then it becomes science. The science didn't change, so she's a fucking dumb bitch for even saying that on a tweet. Oh, the science has changed. Oh, capital H-A-S. Like, you know, that's going to make it, you know, so much more true because she put has in all caps. Science has changed. No, you're just a fucking lying cunt, you fucking bitch. Fuck you.
people called her out on this. She didn't get away with this, thank God.
Yeah, Jimmy, is that what you're trying to say there? Let me say it for you, Jimmy. Let me say it for you. Let me use my words instead of yours.
Because she didn't do it on CNN, she did it on social media, where people still have a little bit of a voice. And if you look, she had 1,100 responses to 544 likes. That's called being ratioed.
No, it's not, Jimmy.
She got ratioed.
No, it's not called being ratioed, Jimmy. It's called only 1,500 people in the whole world saw it. You know, you act like when one person has more likes than another person, that somehow changes the whole world. It doesn't, Jimmy. Nobody fucking cares about being ratioed. Nobody's paying attention. Do you know that most of my audience won't even go to Twitter? They don't pay attention to that shit. They don't give a fuck. Ratioing doesn't mean anything to them. It only means something to you. And it shouldn't. It shouldn't mean dick. Because your numbers are so tiny that when you ratio somebody, it's not even a ripple on the planet. It's not even a ripple, Jimmy. Quit kidding yourself that this ratioing thing is somehow significant.
2 to 1. So
out of 1,500 whole people
anymore.
on the internet.
She listed those three things. The first one,
1,500 people.
All you say is we have a vaccine for kids.
I mean, I wouldn't even care if it was
You have
15,000.
all the time to think about what you're going to put on
Dude,
there.
it could have been 15,000 people. It still would be not even a ripple. Not even a drop in the bucket in the ocean. I'm going to get these motherfuckers, dude. I see them. I don't know where they go. They're imaginary gnats. And I'm a Nazi killer. I'm going to kill me some Nazis today. All right, let's keep going. I'm sure I had something good to say there, but I forgot it.
And that's what they put on.
As a doctor, and that's what you picked?
She said...
I really like Kurt Metzger. I like him. Like, he's the kind of guy I'd want to drink a beer with and hang out with and go out and fucking partying with and shit, smoke bong rips with. He's so cool. The one thing I fucking hate about him is that he never pushes back against Jimmy. Ever. And it leads me to believe that he can be bought. And that is one of the most vulgar qualities that I've ever seen in a human being ever, is their ability to be bought by another human being. It's fucking psychotic.
With respect, the science has changed, and this guy says, I think you misspelled polling. Because here's the polling for Joe Biden.
Oops.
Approval is going underground. His disapproval is going through the roof.
Good. Good.
So
I
that's
celebrate
what's
that.
happening.
People are getting smarter. Good.
More deaths under Joe Biden than under Donald Trump. Stuff like that.
They're waking up.
And they're liars, and they've always lied. And here's Fauci lying. Want to see Fauci lie about masks? Here we go.
People should not be walking around with masks. Let me just
Liar.
state for the record that masks are not theater. Wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and
Liar.
masks are protective. But it's not providing the perfect protection that people think.
Liar.
There has not
Liar.
been any indication that putting a mask on and wearing a mask for a considerable period of time has any deleterious effects.
Dude, I've never seen that one. That was with Mark Zuckerberg on there, bro. Give me a 1 in the chat if you've never seen that video clip of Fauci and Zuckerberg. Dude, you went on fucking Facebook's owner and said that shit? Do you know how devastating that must have been? And Fauci's not in prison? How many ones can I get in the chat? Has anybody seen this little piece of video? We'll go back and watch it again. I'm shocked right now. Here, man, I gotta trim a nose here, but we'll go full screen. Give me a second. Watch this part. Oh my god, this is fucking shocking.
Theater. Wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and masks are protective. But it's not providing the perfect protection
Here we
that
go.
people think that it is.
Here we go.
There has not been any indication that putting a mask on and wearing a mask for a considerable period of time has any deleterious effects. There are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course.
You do not need to wear a mask indoors if, in fact, you've been vaccinated. Good that you're vaccinated, but in a situation where you have people indoors, particularly crowded, you should wear a mask.
Can you believe this?
Even if you are vaccinated, you should wear a mask.
If, in fact, you are vaccinated,
I'll pack in a bowl too.
vaccinated, you are protected, and you do not need to wear a mask outdoors or indoors. When
God
the children
damn.
go out into the community, you want them to.
Dude, I'm so glad that I hate Senator Ron Johnson. I fucking hate him. I had to turn off the video because Jimmy Dore quoted him. Jimmy, let me just tell you something. If I had to do it, I can't be the only person that when you started fucking quoting Ron Johnson, they probably left your show too. And what's sad about that, Jimmy, is you've got legitimate news here that people could really benefit from, and you fucking turn them away by putting idiots like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Ron Johnson in your segments. You're doing your audience a disservice, Jimmy. You know, everyone needs to see this. This fucking cunt, not Jimmy, Fauci, this fucking cunt lying motherfucker. And thank you, Jimmy, for showing it. Now you know the importance of why you should listen to people even when you disagree with them sometimes. You know, I almost didn't watch this fucking segment, and I'm glad I did. Because this is fucking shocking, and you need to know who's out there fucking killing you. Now, you might agree with his sentiment, and then you wouldn't be agreeing with what I'm saying right now. Whatever. I personally believe that masks help slow down the fucking pandemic. That's my personal belief. I hope you guys agree with me on that. You don't have to if you don't want to. I don't fucking care. Like I said, if you don't want to wear the mask, like she said, that woman said from the government, don't. You know, catch this thing, try your luck, see if you fucking live or die. If you die, it's better for the more intelligent people on the planet that we have less idiots out there that don't want to wear a fucking mask. Seriously. Because like they were talking about before, the science, yeah, it's science, man. And if you understood what science was, you would know it's not the misinformation lies that they were telling you last week. It's the actual provable science that you got this week. And her calling fucking last week's misinformation science, that ain't fucking helping y'all, is it? Oh, you're like, well, you called it science last week, man. Why should I believe anything you ever fucking say? Because you're just calling it science this week too. Right? Right? This is a very involved conversation. I don't expect any of you to be able to really track this or keep up with it too much. But just turn the volume down and do some housework and play me in the background and just let it play and let some of it sink in, okay? Might be a little too intense for some folks.
Continue to wear masks.
You know, if you look at children outside, particularly when they're with the family, walking down the street, playing a game or what have you, don't have to wear a mask.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. So children that are all up in each other's faces, always getting all over each other and playing together. Oh, they shouldn't have to wear a mask. No, it doesn't even fucking make sense. You know, and this fucking rhetoric was the Biden administration's attempt to have Fauci, their spokesperson, try to win them votes. Try to win them back votes. And that they don't care about your lives, people. They don't. Dr. Fauci never gave a fuck about a single life ever in his life. He's an evil Nazi motherfucker. You know, he's basically experimenting on human beings. He's a Nazi motherfucker. Understand that? He's evil as fuck.
The pediatric, the Academy of Pediatric actually makes that recommendation that children should be wearing masks from 2 years old onward.
And you're asking now if your child is a member of your household.
What a shitty fucking misinformant. And you know what drives me crazy? What drives me crazy is the smug look on Jimmy's face and the smug laughter from fucking Kurt Metzger in the background. There's nothing funny about any of this. And they get off on it because, oh, they're getting a point proven. Oh, look, he's proving my point that they've always been lying to you. And he's so smug about it. Guess what? He doesn't give a fuck if you live or die either. Jimmy Dore doesn't give a fuck about you. You're just money to him. And that's fucking sad. It's really sad. He doesn't fucking care anymore.
The answer is yes.
But the child can't, not to beat it to death.
Yes, yes.
Because now the CDC says, I mean, I think I've got this right. 1 mask is better than 0 masks. 2 masks is better than 1 mask. But you don't have to have double masks. Is that right? I mean...
Why does she sound like a dumb cunt to me? Why can't people just figure shit out for themselves and say like, hey, I'm going to double mask because it probably gives me about double protection. It probably slows the airflow down more. Instead of asking some lying cunt like fucking Dr. fucking fuck you up your ass, Fauci, and trying to get information out of that cunt? What, the Joe Biden mouthpiece? The Kamala cunt fucking Harris mouthpiece? Are you fucking kidding me?
It became clear that cloth coverings...
How is he not outraged right now, man? It makes me sick.
You could make yourself were adequate.
That smug look on Jimmy's face.
So one of the ways
How are you not
if
outraged?
you would like to is put a cloth mask over, which actually...
It's quite telling, Jimmy.
And here.
Getting to know you a little better, watching you right now.
Much better contained.
Look at the smile.
Dr. Fauci? You look like you are.
He's so smug and happy.
One masker.
So happy.
Just to drive that point home, as of February 2nd, only 22% of children 5 to 11 were fully vaccinated in the United States. So that doctor from CNN saying that's what changed, I'm going to challenge the veracity of that statement. And so did everybody on Twitter that day. You could have just said Omicron spreads wildly faster than any previous variant, and for most people it's a nasty cold, but we can't stop it, so it's time to get back to work and life. And that would all be true based on the new information. You could have just said that, but they're not. Are children 5 to 11 at risk of a serious adverse events?
Dude, Omicron is not just a nasty cold. I'm telling you that my friend could not get out of bed to let her dog outside, and she had to let her dog shit on her floor for fucking 14 days. She got up after 8 days, I believe. But then she had to go back to bed and was sick all over again. Don't tell me it's just a nasty cold. You got a nasty cold, you could take your dog outside for a walk. You can let them outside. And her dog doesn't need to be on a leash. It's a little Fifi dog. You let the dog out, he goes, he poops, and he comes back in. So don't you fucking lie to me and your audience, Jimmy, you fucking cunt motherfucker, and say that it's just a fucking cold with that smug look on your face, reading all the tweets that fucking stroke your goddamn narrative. Fuck you, Jimmy Dore. Fuck you!
The answer is no, then you're being irresponsible to continue the adolescent vaccine push. That's what this guy says. Nearly 2 out of 3 New Jersey kids have not received COVID vaccine, as Murphy plans to drop masks in school. So if the science has changed, but this hasn't. So they got vaccines for kids, but this doesn't. But the kids aren't getting vaccinated.
You just got fucked up your ass. Hey, Jimmy Dore. Fuck you. When all these motherfuckers run around and get this thing, finally, out of their own stupidity, I wonder how they're going to feel, about 3-4 days into this motherfucker. When they can't go around, they got to cancel shows. It takes nasty cold, bro. It goes way beyond it. I've had a nasty cold before. A nasty cold is just, runny nose, coughing, sneezing. And that's why Jimmy wants to classify this. He doesn't want to tell you that you get the chills, that you get really fucking hot, real feverish. He doesn't want to tell you that you're sore, that you're achy, you can't get out of fucking bed, and you're exhausted. Oh, does that sound like a cold to you? Does that sound like a nasty cold to you? Why does he keep referring to it like that? Same reason he keeps referring to this as a jab. He's got a lot of rhetoric that he sticks to, And I got rhetoric that I like to stick to as well. Hey, Jimmy, fuck you. Fuck you for lying to your audience. fuck you for platforming Ron Johnson and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Dr. Robert Malone and trying to make that seem like that's some sort of credential for you. Fuck you, it's not. It just makes you look really bad to people with any level of intelligence at all. You know, I can't even imagine what's going on in Graham Elwood's head right now when he looks at you. And I feel fucking mortified for him. I feel mortified for Graham watching you go through this. God, when the fuck are you going to snap out of it? You know, is Steph going to have to get really sick from COVID? Are you? Yeah, at what point is it going to take for you to realize that, hey, social distancing and masking and locking down and staying fucking home and not running around the country drawing people out to all your stupid fucking nightclub events is the wrong thing to be doing during a pandemic, Jimmy? It's all about him. He's so selfish. And in his mind, if he can convince his audience, and he does, that everything's okay, it's all okay. Who is this? Who am I? Everything's okay. Oh, everything's gonna be just fine, just fine. Everything's okay. I'm gonna run to little boy's room. I'll be right back. Everything's okay. Who's that? Isn't that weird? And yet, doesn't that seem like Jimmy right now? Just go about your business and live your lives and feel your freedom and, you know, get out there and don't worry about this thing at all. Nothing to see here, folks. Avert your eyes, look away, but you can't avert your eyes and look away from what I'm about to show you. After this bong rip, watch. Nobody got the reference? Bash. I was bashed from Don't Look Up with the phone saying, don't worry, everything's fine.
Now, scientists from around the globe race to understand a hidden world. Permafrost, a layer of frozen earth spanning a quarter of the northern hemisphere's landmass. This ancient freezer is beginning to thaw, revealing its deepest secrets.
Pretty exciting. This is a mammoth bone right here.
It's not exciting.
Releasing over 500 million tons of carbon every year.
Look.
It was just
Look. Seeing what the permafrost is revealing is not exciting. It's fucking horrifying, guys. We don't want to see what's under that. Because what that shit has been making is methane. That bone right there, those fossils, I'm sorry I'm spitting, guys. I'm so sorry. Those fossils, they decay over time. And they turn into methane. That's all going to be explained in this. So when we're seeing these fossils being exposed and that guy's in there going, oh, it's so exciting. Look, we found some bones. No, man. That's the permafrost melting away and exposing what's creating that methane, right? That's what's causing these bubbles. So everybody who gets bored and runs out on this video, it's an hour long. It's a 50-minute video. 52 minutes, something like that left on it. And you know I got to stop every once in a while and point some things out, so it's going to go even longer. Now you know what's up, okay? If you leave, you know already that there's methane leaking out all over the fucking planet now. It's coming out of lakes, it's coming out of the ocean, it's coming out of the glaciers as they melt, and it's coming out of these brand new holes in the ground that are literally exploding and exposing chasms of methane that are now putting massive amounts, tons and tons and tons of methane, which is CO2 on steroids. And they're not going to mention that in this, but just watch.
insane. Like, the water's boiling around you.
And threatening local communities.
Houses need to be torn down. We're in the middle of a housing crisis.
Are the craters warning shots for our climate future?
That is not included in climate models. That's a scary wild card in the climate change story.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that you're going to find out. That's a huge point that they make in this movie. It's not included in climate models. And what have I and Dr. Guy Mcpherson been telling you guys for years now? Is that the climate modeling, the computers, they get it wrong because they're not considering what? Global feedback loops. Climate-driven global feedback loops. The computers don't know about them. They don't program those in. This is one of them. This is just one of them. Out of 64 identified, guys. I'm talking to you, Token Dave. I hope you're still here. He said he was going fishing. Hopefully he's got us out there on the lake with him, or the ocean.
What new dangers lurk beneath this vast frozen landscape? And could they warm our planet even further? Arctic sinkholes, right now on Nova.
They're not sinkholes.
The Yamal Peninsula.
I'll speed it up a little bit.
Siberia. 47,000 square miles of freezing tundra. Located in northern Russia, the Yamal lies well above the Arctic Circle. It's home to around 10,000 indigenous Nenets people, most living as nomadic reindeer herders. In their language, Yamal means end of the land. It's now beginning to look like it.
Giant craters were spotted in the north of Russia. They popped up out of nowhere in the Yamal Peninsula.
When I first heard about the crater, I didn't believe it. I actually thought it was a made-up story.
Hippie chick, our weather here right now is dynamic. It goes in the morning. I mean, when it's dark out, it's, drops down to 40 degrees. And in the daytime, it gets up to 75. Right now. That's how dynamic it is day to night here.
Believe me, I remember this date and I will remember it forever because it was absolutely exciting, something I have never seen before.
The mysterious crater is 150 feet deep. Filled up with rainwater, its volume is greater than 10 Olympic swimming pools. The striking images go viral worldwide because no one can answer what caused it. Vasily Bogoyevlensky is an expert on the geology of the Yamal.
I'm gonna get some coffee.
With other scientists, he choppers out to the scene.
When we just came to this crater, of course, we didn't know for sure what was there. We never saw something like that, never.
This isn't the first massive pit to open up. Across the world, gaping sinkholes have appeared due to water or erosion weakening the ground beneath, swallowing cars whole and wreaking havoc in towns and cities. But while the Yamal crater looks at first like an ordinary sinkhole, there's something unusual visible around the edges. Most sinkholes have a rim that is flat, not raised. And while sinkholes collapse inwards, the team discovers debris spread far outside the crater.
Pieces of rocks and ice are flying, sometimes in quite a long distance, from 200 meters to 500 meters, and in one case it was distance to 900 meters.
Debris like this can be thrown out by the impact of an asteroid. But there are no other signs of a massive object striking Earth. For the scientists, that leaves only one reasonable explanation. A gigantic natural explosion.
I don't know if there are many Earth system processes that have never occurred. I mean, in my lifetime, or at least to scientific understanding, that have never occurred and that we're starting to see as a new process.
So what could have provided the power for such a massive blast? There is no sign of lava or volcanic rock, so this clearly isn't a volcano. But exploring inside the crater, sampling the air and water at the bottom, the scientists do discover an intriguing clue. Unusually high levels of a single gas, methane. Used for cooking and heating, methane is a flammable gas made from carbon and hydrogen. When combined with air, it ignites easily.
So this is a huge bomb, methane bomb.
But before scientists can determine where the methane came from, more giant craters are discovered. Investigating, scientists find new evidence of methane. Since 2014, at least 8 confirmed craters have been found on or close to the Yamal. But the growing number of craters isn't the scientists' only concern. They notice a climate connection. 2014, when the first crater appears, followed one of the hottest years on record in Russia. And all the craters are discovered during a period of uncharacteristically warm weather in Siberia. Since the late 19th century, the average global temperature has risen around 2 degrees Fahrenheit. But the Arctic is warming faster. It's currently heating up around twice as fast as the rest of the planet. The scientists begin to ask, could the explosive craters be connected to climate change? If so, what might they be telling us about Earth's climate future? While scientists on the Yamal study the crater, elsewhere in the Arctic, another team is about to discover new pieces of the puzzle. This time, in Alaska. Kotzebue, near Alaska's northwest coast. In 2017, a local pilot reports a lake that's behaving oddly. Now, a team of scientists that had been investigating returns to the site to continue its work.
So we just left Kotzebue, and then we crossed the Kotzebue Sound and into the mouth of the Noatak, which was this like beautiful, sweeping landscape.
Look, there's a lake right there. Man, that's exciting.
Far from the nearest town lies Easy Lake. Field technician Phil Hunka proceeds cautiously, hoping to avoid surprises.
Hey, Bear.
Hey, babe.
Hey, Bear. Where's that? Well, there's definitely bears around here, so we're gonna have to take that into account when setting up camp.
Easy Lake is located on the lands of the indigenous Inupiat people. The state is home to over 13,000 Inupiat people, whose traditional lands stretch across northern Alaska. One of the scientists on the team has special ties to this community.
My name is
I'm going to fast forward it.
Gas samples, and then those were sent to the lab for analysis, and they found that it is a super high amount of methane.
Methane leaks, known as seeps, have been found elsewhere in the Arctic, but they're usually much smaller. The team's measurements reveal that Easy Lake is belching out over 10 tons of methane every day.
This is the highest flux methane seep that humans have discovered in the Arctic.
Okay, 10 tons of methane every day is being released from this small lake area. Do you guys understand that? 10 tons of methane. So there's really, really, really bad news, guys. It's going to be, you're going to hear some really, really, really bad news in this. And I know that some of you guys aren't interested in hearing about it or whatever, but we've been talking about this on the show for so long. This is a completely different group of scientists, guys. They don't know who Dr. Guy Mcpherson is. I sent this to the doctor, and he sent me this back. He sent me okay back in the email. Because what I said was they're finally getting it. And his response was, they are. These people are fucking getting it. Wait, listen to this shit.
The amount of methane you see is staggering.
From the shore, it's difficult to see where the methane is coming from.
Right, Dom?
So the team decides to get closer to the source.
Hypothermia is obviously the main danger. Second is me getting hair. I'm very curious about what it sounds like.
All right, so they go down and he finds a huge hole in the middle of the lake, right? Now they drag this on and drag it on and drag it on. Talk about permafrost. And then they take you this other guy, and he talks about erosion. That's important So it's going to be later on, I think, because I don't see it yet. So they find this huge hole in the lake, and then he goes in there diving, and it's like 50 feet deep. And later on in the video, they find, they get this military surveyor to go in there, and he can survey down way deeper, 10 times deeper than a normal, what they had with their radar. He could go 10 times deeper into the ground. And what he found was a giant anomaly hole that had opened up underground that had filled with methane and was leaking out through this small hole. And let's go to the erosion. Okay, so this man has a freezer, and it's not cold enough anymore for him to run his underground freezer that he keeps the community whale meat in. They survive off of whale meat. He says now they have to use electric freezers because it's not cold enough underground. So we'll go past that. And then he talks about here the erosion. All of this shit's working simultaneously.
To protect their homes.
These are all our local efforts to stop the storm surge. This is our way of trying to save the town.
With a retreating coastline and warming ice cellars, local communities are hit twice by thawing permafrost. But the big thaw is an Arctic-wide problem.
Through the next decades and century, we expect anywhere across the Arctic between 30 and 70% of near-surface permafrost will be lost. That range partly has to do with just some uncertainty in the science, but largely has to do with how much warming will happen in the future.
Arctic communities are facing the immediate effects now, but scientists are concerned this loss has implications for the entire planet. So why is permafrost thaw so dangerous? And what is the link to methane?
Link.
Back near Fox in interior Alaska, Tom Douglas is about to do something only possible in a few places on Earth. Walk deep down into the permafrost itself.
You guys, here, let me close some shit.
The Fox permafrost tunnel reveals there's more to permafrost than frozen Earth.
That's a horn. That's from the longhorn steppe bison, and they are extinct now. Back 18 to 40,000 years ago, there were steppe bison here. Pretty exciting. This is a mammoth bone right here. You can just see kind of the piece of it sticking out right there. It's pretty big.
The tunnel reveals that permafrost contains vast quantities of organic matter.
So these are sedges, kind of like grass, and you can see that they're green. They still have their chlorophyll in them. They're also upside down. This block fell into a water feature that then froze, probably 20 or so thousand.
Quarter of the hour, cheers. I'm good.
This
Obviously.
ancient organic matter, like all life on our planet, contains carbon and is part of a vital Earth system called the carbon cycle. As they grow, plants absorb carbon dioxide. When they die, they, or the animals that have eaten them, decompose, releasing some of this carbon back into the atmosphere. But in the freezing Arctic, decomposition happens slowly. So over millennia, a huge amount of organic matter became permafrost before it could decompose. It's carbon frozen in time.
In the late 90s into the 2000s, people started looking at the stocks of carbon in permafrost, and it's a lot. It's about 1,400 billion metric tons. It's almost twice as much carbon as is currently in Earth's atmosphere. When we walked in, we noted that smell, right? You're smelling ancient bacteria and carbon being oxidized. It's almost like I've heard anything from like a French cheese to barnyard, but it's kind of that organic, almost a late fall, wet leaf kind of organic smell. You are smelling permafrost carbon being oxidized. And so the big question is that carbon that we smell that's all over this tunnel walls, what's its ultimate fate? And there's a lot of people working on that.
In other words, how much of this carbon will end up in the atmosphere? And most importantly, how fast? Falmouth, Massachusetts. 3,000 miles from the ice tunnel, Arctic ecologist Susan Natali investigates samples of permafrost to find out what happens when it thaws.
So these are permafrost cores that were collected from different locations across Alaska. Some of these are really dark, like particularly this one, and that dark color means that has a lot of carbon in it.
As permafrost warms, its carbon thaws, and the carbon cycle starts up once again.
So that carbon then is available for microbes to break down. And they use it for energy, and they decompose it, and in that process they're releasing carbon dioxide or methane.
Carbon dioxide and methane are both greenhouse gases. As Earth's surface absorbs energy from the sun, it radiates some of it back out as heat. In the atmosphere, greenhouse gases absorb this heat, radiating part of its energy back at Earth and heating up our planet.
Greenhouse gases are a concern because they trap heat. They're helpful to us because they make this habitable planet, but because there's too much in the atmosphere, they're now making this an uninhabitable planet, or a less habitable planet.
Did you hear that? That's very important, you guys. This is what all the fucking Green New Deal people, circular energy people, all the people that say we have to go completely electric and eliminate all fossil fuel use on the planet. This is what they won't fucking listen to, and they won't admit it. Greta Thunberg, none of them. Here, I want you to listen to it in regular speed, and I want you to hear this woman say that again. Listen, listen, listen.
Because they trap heat. They're helpful to us because they make this habitable planet.
Greenhouse gases make this a habitable planet. You know, we're never eliminating all greenhouse gas. It makes it habitable. You understand that? And if you listen to these Green New Deal people, if you subscribe to their bullshit, the bullshit lie that you're going to be sold is that if we go fully electric and we stop the coal-fired plants and the oil and gasoline burning and all that shit, that we will eliminate all greenhouse gases and we will be able to live without heating up the planet. When in reality, this scientist just explained that it's the greenhouse gases that keep the planet warm, but also protect us and keep this planet habitable for humanity. Now, let's rewind that just a little bit. Listen to everything she says right here.
To break down. They use it for energy and they decompose it, and in that process they're releasing carbon dioxide or methane.
Carbon dioxide and methane are both greenhouse gases.
After this, very important.
As Earth's surface absorbs energy from the sun, it radiates some of it back out as heat.
Okay? Did you hear that? The greenhouse gases reflect the sunlight back, protecting the planet, keeping it from burning up. Did you catch that? It's called the global masking effect.
In the atmosphere, greenhouse gases absorb this heat, radiating part of its energy back at Earth and heating up our planet.
Greenhouse gases are a concern because they trap heat. They're helpful to us because they make this habitable planet. But because there's too much in the atmosphere, they're now making this an uninhabitable planet, or a less habitable planet.
You know, and they make such a small point of her saying that, and then they just go on. And that's the problem. That's the fact. And people, if they knew that, they would realize that every promise, everything that we've ever been promised by the Green New Deal and circular energy and, you know, we must act and the Plant a Tree foundations, all of them, is that there's nothing we can do. We're getting hotter.
It's estimated that in the mid-18th century, there were over 2,000 gigatons of naturally occurring carbon-based greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. With industrialization, human-made greenhouse gas emissions began to add to this amount. By 2019, it's estimated the total had risen to over 3,000 gigatons. Over the last century and a half, Earth's average temperature increased around 2 degrees Fahrenheit.
No, they're usually talking
Scientists
Celsius.
agree human emissions caused this warming. But recently, they've become concerned greenhouse gases being released by permafrost might be driving temperatures higher too.
And the computer models...
As the name suggests, permafrost is permanently frozen ground.
Add that into the equation.
So we thought, okay, this carbon is very
The ones that say we've got plenty of time
so nothing
left.
is going to happen. But as permafrost starts to thaw, this carbon becomes vulnerable.
Since the mid-70s, carbon dioxide emissions from the North Alaskan wilderness have spiked by more than 70%. But while we know a lot about carbon dioxide, the impact of another greenhouse gas coming out of the permafrost is less widely known. The very one escaping from the Yamal and Easy Lake. Methane.
Methane is really important because it's much more potent in terms of its ability to trap heat. So it's about 30 times more powerful than carbon dioxide.
30 times more powerful. There it
Luckily,
was.
while
They
carbon
did say
dioxide lasts centuries or longer in our atmosphere,
I'm sorry, I missed
methane
that.
only lasts around 12 years. But as a far more potent greenhouse gas, any large-scale increases in methane emissions have climate scientists seriously concerned. For now, more than half of methane emissions come from human sources like fossil fuels and agriculture. Sources well understood by climate experts. But scientists are increasingly worried about methane emissions from permafrost. So far, they don't know how much methane the permafrost is releasing. And that's a big problem.
In order to control our temperature, we have a certain amount of carbon that humans can release. That's our carbon budget.
In 2015, the International Paris Agreement set a target for limiting global warming. Its goal was to keep the temperature rise to well below 2, preferably to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
To stand a good chance of remaining below the 1.5 degree mark, one estimate states that humans could release a maximum of around 460 gigatons more carbon dioxide. But recent climate calculations are based on computer models with incomplete information.
Right there.
Unfortunately, a lot of these Earth system models that contribute to such goals do not take into account CO2 and methane emissions from permafrost.
See?
The most recent carbon budgets
29
have started
minutes
to include
in.
permafrost carbon. But some scientists believe they still underestimate the amount of carbon the warming Arctic will release, making temperature goals harder to meet, and putting more pressure on societies to dramatically cut their emissions to compensate.
Right, Dom?
So we think we have a certain amount of greenhouse gases that humans can release, but our target is wrong right now because we're not accounting for potential permafrost emissions of methane and carbon dioxide.
Understanding the dynamics of thawing permafrost is now critical to predicting our climate future. So how much methane is permafrost emitting each year? And is this annual amount going to increase? Fairbanks, Interior Alaska. Ecologist Katie Walter Anthony is heading out onto the frozen terrain. Walter Anthony was among the first to study Easy Lake.
Whoa.
That got me.
Oh, shoot.
Am I on fire?
No, I was wondering.
What's smoking?
He's on fire.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
All right.
The methane comes from organic matter in permafrost, thawing and decomposing at the bottom of the lake, then rising in methane levels to the surface. Across the Arctic, permafrost thaw is generating vast numbers of new lakes.
You
As the
understand that?
soil warms, ice beneath the surface melts, causing the ground to slump and fill with water.
Understand this. All of these lakes are going to be producing more methane. Not just bubbling out of the ground, but by the rotting of the just the activity that occurs in a lake. So these lakes, just them being there are going to be producing a lot more methane.
And once a lake is formed, you can't stop it because that water has heat and it causes the ground to thaw so fast.
The lakes then start releasing.
I love BattleBots.
As the methane
Way to go,
escapes, it
Xander.
causes more permafrost to thaw and more methane to be generated, which is more warming, and you get what's called a positive feedback cycle.
There it is.
Positive feedback cycles from permafrost regions are another scenario not sufficiently accounted for.
This is 32 minutes in when they start talking about this. So 29 minutes, 32 minutes. These are all points that you guys all know about from this channel and that I know about from Guy Mcpherson. And I told you eventually everyone would be talking about this. Well, this is PBS and Nova. I don't know what year this is, but eventually everyone will be talking about this, man, because this is what's killing us. And we can't stop it. You are not going to stop methane coming out of the ground. Period.
In current climate models.
As permafrost thaws, greenhouse gases like CO2 and methane will be released back to the atmosphere much faster. Warming is causing more warming.
Due to positive feedback, permafrost emissions could increase the rate of warming, compounding the need for humans to reduce their emissions if climate targets are to be met.
See, it's not Guy McPherson
But
anymore.
permafrost carbon isn't the only potential driver of a positive feedback cycle.
Hey, everybody. Don't look up. Right? A-Dub. You're craving a bong hit?
Permafrost is actually not the largest carbon reserve on Earth. There's much larger carbon reserve in Earth's crust as fossil carbon, but we often don't talk about this carbon. This is because this carbon is considered very stable.
But some scientists now wonder if this mega source of carbon is as stable as they thought. Disturbing evidence comes from the bubbles in Easy Lake.
Back to the lake.
Methane released by thawing permafrost has a particular chemical fingerprint. When the scientists at Easy Lake studied the methane in the bubbles, they discovered it originated deeper inside Earth. Much deeper.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm fast forwarding through this for you guys. Back to the military guy that's going to check the bottom of the lake.
Geophysicist Nick Hassan joins the team with technology used by the military.
75 just after the shrub. I'm essentially scanning the permafrost using a geophysical method called very low frequency.
Very low frequency, or VLF, measures a special kind of electromagnetic wave as it moves through Earth. These waves are sent out globally by the Navy to communicate with submarines. But as those waves pass through the Earth below, Hassan's equipment can pick them up. By measuring the speed the wave travels, Hassan can tell whether the ground deep beneath him is frozen or not.
Crazy,
when it moves through the ground, if there's permafrost or ice, these waves are coming up against a lot of resistance. But if there's no permafrost or ice, it quickly moves through.
If they're strong enough, the electromagnetic
They're going to show you the hole in the
should
lake here in
enable
a
Hassan
second.
to see whatever lies beneath the lake.
Remember, it's a very
So
shallow
we can
lake.
Scan the
Until
Earth
you hit the hole,
similar
which is
to
50
how a
feet
doctor
deep.
scans you with an MRI.
50 feet deep.
Easy Lake is the biggest on-land methane seep yet found in the Arctic. But no one has used VLF to look beneath it.
Look how warm
Until
the
now.
Arctic is.
Wow, fantastic signals.
Look how warm the Arctic is, guys.
Yeah, so I'm starting to notice a change.
It's the fucking Arctic.
Well, we're over the largest seep, and there's some sort of large anomaly happening right here where I'm located. And the VLF is picking it up. It's very exciting. The signals are just outstanding.
Back at camp, Hassan takes the first ever high-resolution glimpse beneath Easy Lake.
There he is.
This slice through 500
There
feet
it is.
of ground below the lake reveals an anomaly.
So the dark blue is the permafrost region. So anything that's light blue to red is thawed. And so this shouldn't be here. There should be permafrost covering this entire area. But for some reason, what you can see here is a thawed chimney.
Look how accurate.
Going from somewhere below 150 meters to the surface where we see the rising bubbles. And so this is really unique.
So far, the scientists have only seen 50 feet beneath.
There it is.
Now,
50 feet wide.
Hassan's VLF image lets them look 10 times deeper.
Look at that.
Below the lake stretches a deep layer of permafrost. But the scientists now know this hasn't just thawed at the surface. Instead, a chimney of material has thawed right through the frozen permafrost.
Right, Steve?
A warmer, semi-permeable passageway through which fossil methane rises to the surface.
I wonder how much methane got trapped in the ice.
So, thawing permafrost means
ungodly
not one,
amounts,
but two sources of methane for our atmosphere.
Battle butts, bruh.
As it warms, permafrost releases its own methane gas. And as thaw chimneys form within it, they provide an escape route for fossil methane that has been safely trapped for millions of years. Scientists estimate there are around 1.3 trillion tons of methane stored beneath the Arctic.
There you go, hippie chick. I wonder how much methane gas got trapped in the ice. And there he answers your question.
Form within it. They provide an escape route for fossil methane that has been safely trapped for millions of years. Scientists estimate there are around 1.3 trillion tons of methane stored beneath the Arctic. That's nearly 250 times as much methane as there is in Earth's atmosphere today. So is Easy Lake's thaw chimney unique? Or is fossil methane escaping elsewhere?
Oh yeah.
While the leak in Easy Lake is unusually large, smaller seeps of fossil methane are being discovered across the Arctic. In Alaska alone, over 70 sites have been found.
70. But
there's no current sign.
But oh, nothing to see here. Everything's fine. Everything's gonna be just fine. Everything's okay. Nothing to see here, folks. Guy Mcpherson. No, not Guy Mcpherson. He didn't know what he was talking about.
The entire reserve of fossil methane is moving toward the
Dom says Mother Nature's telling us. Hippie Chick says, well, that could be a problem more in the ground than there is in the atmosphere.
Surface. But the appearance of even small amounts of this ancient greenhouse gas has some scientists concerned.
If permafrost thawed, then that's a scary wild card in the climate change story, because we think there's a huge amount of methane and natural gas trapped inside permafrost and under permafrost. So if permafrost becomes like Swiss cheese with lots of holes in it, then you can have chimneys where that gas is erupting out. And that is not included in climate models.
If only a tiny fraction.
Again, and that is not in climate models. None of these people have the science right. None of them. It's not science, it's misinformation. Guy McPherson's been warning them about these feedback loops. They're going to get into that. They're going to get into that. Wait, watch.
Of the fossil reservoirs were to reach the atmosphere, it could intensify warming, putting even more pressure on human emissions targets.
How fast that's going to happen and just how much methane will come out, we don't know.
Scientists don't currently understand how fast such a cycle might occur, or what it would look like. But there's one place on Earth that gives a chilling example of how a human-made permafrost feedback cycle actually works.
Here you go.
Northeast Siberia is home to the Chersky Mountains. In the 1960s, in a place called Batagayka, a stretch of forest was cleared to make a road. Stripped of its tree cover, the permafrost was exposed to the warming sun. As it thawed, the ground sank, pulling down trees at its edge and exposing more permafrost. A positive feedback cycle. Today, the strip of cleared forest is a depression nearly 300 feet deep and over half a mile wide. And it's growing. Scientists call it a mega slump.
Batagayka, it is very big, but the size is because of the initial human impact. And this one is already more than 1 kilometer and growing every summer.
Wow.
Batagayka reveals how a small human impact can start a devastating feedback cycle in permafrost. Scientists are now trying to discover what a feedback cycle could mean for the entire permafrost region, and whether it could reach a point where it becomes irreversible. Such a phenomenon is called a tipping point.
Too late.
A tipping point is the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. You can get away with adding straw for so long, and then you can't. And the tipping point...
You know, no one wants to admit we've long surpassed that. That's the problem. You know, everybody wants Star Trek to happen. You know, everybody thinks we're gonna fucking colonize the goddamn universe. Pathetic, man.
Is the point of no return.
It's a controversial idea among climate scientists, but the prospect of a tipping point has been raised for a number of global climate systems, including Arctic sea ice and deforestation in the Amazon. So far, there's no conclusive evidence that a tipping point is near for permafrost. However, some scientists believe aspects of the thaw are now irreversible. Vladimir Romanovsky has spent decades studying the changing permafrost. Near Utqiagvik in northern Alaska, he investigates what happens as large wedges of ice in the ground start to melt.
Before it was more or less flat area, but then ice melts and surface subsides.
Romanovsky believes lakes formed by melting permafrost ice have passed a point of no return.
It took tens of thousands of years to put this ice into the ground. Now it's melting. To put all this ice into the ground back, you will need several tens of thousands of years. So that's, for humans, definitely irreversible process. It is tipping point.
See? It is a tipping point.
While melting ice forms lakes in the wilderness, just a few miles away, it's causing very different problems for the local community. In the roads outside Utqiagvik, the effects of rising Arctic temperatures are easy to see.
Just from observation, growing up here, coming out here since I was a kid, the roads were a lot higher than they are now. It is literally sinking. His bumper might get wet.
Native Alaskan Inupiaq Lars Nelson is an infrastructure consultant. He knows firsthand what permafrost thaw is doing to his community.
This road is for subsistence use. We come out here and stage our hunts. It's a big part of our history, and it's important that we're able to access it in case of an emergency.
And it's not just the roads that are sinking. In downtown Utqiagvik, Nelson meets Inupiaq Anthony Edwardson.
These ones are subsiding too? Yeah.
He's an expert on the Inupiaq community with 4 decades experience in the construction industry.
Yeah, look at this one is really messed up. Look at how it's just.
That's where the houses are sinking.
Local houses are built on wooden pilings. If they were built on the ground, the heat used to warm the homes would thaw the permafrost below. But now the permafrost is thawing by itself, and the pilings are starting to sink.
When the piling is a very small base, it doesn't hold its structure.
The communities, they need house leveling, move houses. Houses need to be torn down. We're in the middle of a housing crisis.
So there's the freaking evidence right there that the ground is literally sinking from these lakes being formed and the water coming up out of the ground. Understand what that water is going to do? It's going to go up in the atmosphere. It's going to cause more rain, storm, snow, flooding events all around the world, hurricanes, tornadoes, everything's going to be fed by this moisture. It's going to be vicious. We're going to see things we've never seen before, which we've already started. I mean, these holes in the ground, we've never seen this shit. So just wait, man. It's getting worse and worse, and it's going to be exponential, man. It's going to happen really fast.
Nelson believes strategic building is the answer.
We're on to it right now, and we're refining it right now.
Right.
We can build nice, good houses.
Yeah, so they built sleds for the houses to be able to move them, big steel sleds. It's a horrible situation that we are in, and it's very important, I think, for all of you to realize that what's going on, you know, where we're at. It's not going to get any better, you know. You've seen a lot of movies where, you know, the good guy wins and everybody's happy and walks away. This isn't one of those times. Understand it, all right? All right. I'll leave you with that. I will see you guys on the next upload. You guys take care. All 13 of you. Thanks for sticking around and watching, man. I appreciate that. All right? Might be a while because of my voice. I don't know. Bye, guys.